like call reviews? Like what's the most effective way to review your own calls per se?
Yeah, so I always base it on data, right? So if I've noticed that, for example, my dial to answer rate, sorry, like my answer rate to meaningful conversation rate is low, right? So like a lot of people answer the phone, but most of them I don't get to a good combo. Then I notice that my intro is really bad. So I want to start like looking at my introduction on my calls. Oh, yeah, I'm noticing that I'm like sounding really flat or I'm like not leading the introduction so I can get into more calls. So it seems like I need to work on how I lead at the start, right? Maybe you've got then a good intro to meaningful convo, and then it's like a meaningful convo to set rate. So how come I'm having like 10 meaningful convos, but I only set like two, right? And there's that gap of what's happening with those eight conversations that's meaning that I heavily disqualify too much. Maybe I need to give more people a shot. Maybe
Yeah.
what I'm doing is I'm not creating enough of that gap in conversations, like going through problems well enough, creating commitment where prospects are like, oh, I just would, well, I'd rather do it another time or think about it or whatever that might be. So then you want to go more into in-depth conversation reviews. If you're seeing that those stats are low, even if sharp rate's really low, how's my end of call process looking to help me get that sharp rate high? Maybe it might be something I'm doing earlier on in the call to not get enough commitment for them to even want to show up no matter what I say at the end, right? And then if you're set to close rates really, really low, it's like, oh, I get like 80% of people showing up, but 10% convert. Well, maybe I'm putting too many people through that are broke. Maybe they really want it, but I need to be nurturing them more before I actually book them in a call, right? So all you're doing is you literally let the numbers tell you what you need to review rather than think, oh, it feels like my calls aren't that great. It's like, well, that doesn't really help you, right? So just have your numbers tracked so, so well where it's like, oh, that's what I need to work on, this what I need to work on. And you just work across your numbers. Because that's what you're always going to be doing as a setter is like spinning plates. One stat will get really good and the other one will drop. Then you get that one up, then the other one will drop, and you're just like this all the time until you get them fully balanced, which if that does happen, it may happen for a spell, but then every something will drop again. That's always how it works, right? So it's just
Yeah.
spinning plates with the numbers and making sure you get them balanced, right?